Hey everyone, this is Steve Charlie here, and I've actually been in the market for a 3D TV, and so I was looking at this Samsung UN46C8000, and I was doing some research online, and I came across a segment on cnet.com, and they actually give an all-out review of the Samsung, so I wanted you guys to check it out. Hopefully, you'll like the review as much as I did, so here goes.
Hi, I'm David Katzmeyer, Senior Editor at CNET, and this is the Samsung UNC8000 series. I'm next to the 55-inch version. There's also a 46-inch version available now and a 65-incher coming later this summer. This review will apply to all sizes in the series. This TV will work with 3D Blu-rays and upcoming 3D content from DirecTV and other providers. You're going to need a pair of 3D glasses. Samsung sells them separately for $150, or you can get this 3D starter kit that includes 2 pairs of glasses and the only 3D content available right now, which is Monsters vs. Aliens. In our brief 3D testing on this TV, again, there's only one Blu-ray disc available. We did have some pluses and minuses in what we saw. On the plus side, 3D does give you that feeling of depth when you're watching. Things kind of pop out of the screen. You have a lot of things in the foreground, and if it's mastered correctly, a nice depth of field on a lot of the shots. On the flip side, it does tend to give you a little bit of a queasy feeling sometimes, or at least it did for us. There's also the fact that there's some crosstalk visible in the image. That appears sort of ghostly images that are kind of around the main images, and that's just kind of an artifact of 3D, at least on this TV. Again, we haven't really compared 3D across a bunch of different televisions, so we're only talking about the Samsung now, but in general it seems like 3D, even with the Blu-ray, has a little bit to go before it's ready for prime time. There's also a 2D to 3D conversion on this television, which allows it to display pretty much any 2D content with a 3D effect. That effect is kind of hit or miss in our experience. It does allow the foreground to pop out a little bit at the best of times, but sometimes jerky camera movement can make things seem a little bit queasy. And again, don't expect any kind of normal 3D effect as you would get from actual 3D content, but some people might really enjoy the 2D to 3D conversion. This is Samsung's flagship TV for LCD picture quality in 2010. There is a slightly more expensive model, but this one has the big picture quality step up in the line. That is the ability to adjust the picture's dimming in different areas of the screen, even from an edge-lit configuration. So if that sounds a little complex, just think of it as similar to regular LED local dimming, but the TV is really thin. You can turn to the side here and see that it actually is less than an inch thick, one of the thinnest TVs we've ever seen. Other styling cues on this TV, it has this kind of silver color around the edge, which is unusual. Most TVs are glossy black. It's also really thin bezel, so it's a lot of picture here. There's also this kind of transparent edge, and the stand is remarkable. It's got 4 legs, kind of looks like a spider. There's kind of a swivel going on, so all things considered, it's a pretty unique looking television. Another different design this year is the TV's remote, which we usually don't mention remotes, but this one was kind of unusually difficult to operate. We really didn't like the fact that you couldn't really tell apart the keys unless you look down at them, which of course is a little bit difficult in the dark. It does have backlighting, but all things considered, one of the more difficult remotes to use. This TV does have plenty of those interactive add-ons. Samsung calls them its apps platform, which is similar to iPhone's apps. You can actually go into the menu and download a whole bunch of different applications to work with this TV, anything from Netflix to 2 or 3 different weather services to news to sports to about 15 games at this point. Samsung says it's going to add even more apps in the future. There's going to be paid ones. Netflix works pretty well. There's also Vudu, Amazon Video on Demand, Pandora. It doesn't have built-in Wi-Fi, however. To get that, you're going to have to buy an optional $80 dongle or just connect a third-party wireless bridge. There's also numerous ways to adjust the picture on this Samsung. There's a new 10-point IRE system that allows you to tweak the color temperature. There's also numerous settings for a bunch of different video processing modes. Speaking of video processing, however, the TV didn't handle 1080p 24 content as well as we'd like to see. Maybe Samsung will issue a firmware update for that in the future, but for now it doesn't give you that nice film-like look that we've seen on other 1080p 24 capable TVs. Speaking of film-based content, we did subject this TV to our normal comparison test in the lab with other 2D televisions, and in 2D mode its performance was very good. We did like the relatively deep black levels, although they're not as deep as we've seen on other local dimming and plasma displays that can get a little bit deeper. On the flip side, it's better than a lot of the other edge-lit TVs we've seen. Color accuracy was very good, especially after we adjusted that 10-point system, especially in the middle of the scale. The lower end of the scale did get a little bit blue, and we also saw some uniformity issues on this TV, which included some slightly brighter edges, a little bit of faint banding, and some off-angle issues where the picture did fade and get discolored when you looked from either side. So for connectivity, the UNC8000 series has 4 HDMI inputs on the back panel, as well as a bunch of analog inputs. The downside is because the panel's so thin, you actually have to have these breakout cables, which are included with the TV for any of the analogs. So we got component video here. This is a composite video. There's even a breakout cable for the Ethernet, the RF, the PC, and even the optical digital audio. So that's a quick look at the Samsung UNC8000 series, and I'm David Katzmeyer.